Yeah, so today, first actually today I'm just going to discuss about AutoML. Before that, quick introduction about me. So I'm Anirban. I am working in IBM UK. I'm a lead engineer working over there. So I am pretty new in this speaking career. So I have already spoken 2 or 3 topics in London Java community, and now it is my third one actually. So here I want to explain something what we have done in our last project to do some kind of machine learning, and that's actually I'm just going to discuss today. So AutoML actually everyone knows that the machine learning, and one point is that this topic is not very associated with PHP. It's a wider concept, can be applied to anywhere. So the machine learning is a pretty important technology, is being used everywhere. So developers should learn it and apply it to just automate some of their repetitive tasks. So if you develop a machine learning smart worker that can take some of your repetitive work, and you can be freed up to do some other productive work. So machine learning is pretty important. But the problem is that to apply machine learning in the real world problem need a steep learning curve, because it's not like it's a straightforward steps we can follow and just we can get a good result of it. So that's not possible. There are whole lots of algorithms available for machine learning, and we need to have kind of experience and expertise it in to properly apply a correct algorithm to a specific problem what we are going to resolve, and then only we will get the optimal output. So today actually I'm just going to discuss about AutoML concept. That means who are not very experienced with using auto machine learning and the steps are required to run the machine learning algorithm. The AutoML is a rescue for them, because it is actually mimicking the actual what data scientist does. Not all the aspects, but most of the important part it can do, and it will suggest you which algorithm would be the most suitable algorithm provided with respect to your data, as well as the scope of your problem you are trying to resolve. So I just want to do a quick analogy here. For example, just say that one patient with a little headache just comes to a hospital to consult with a doctor. Now, the hospital might have lots of department, and the headache might be a cause of different problems. For example, it is happening due to the nervous system problem, or it might be happening for the eyes, or maybe it is a migraine related problem. So how the patient will know that which department he will be heading towards? So instead of that, means he needs to know something, some symptoms, and need to know which department will be the right department for him to be treated with. So if someone in the front desk, actually in actual case it happens, so some nurse or maybe medically known person, he or she will just check, do a preliminary check with some test or something like that, and just identify, okay, your problem is most likely coming from or happening due to the eyes irritation or something like that. You just reach out to the eye department, then it would be easier for the patient to go to the right department. Exactly similar to that, AutoML, who are not very experienced with using machine learning algorithm and machine learning concept, so they can use AutoML, and AutoML suggests like which algorithm, and which algorithm would be best suitable for his problem. Let's discuss about a quick example. With a quick example, I just want to give this particular problem actually happened in our case, what we faced in our last project. So it was a banking origination project where we used to capture the applications, online applications, and you find that we capture the application IDs and the user, browser agent, and IP address. There are whole lots of other data available as well, but I have only selected 3 of them. So let's just look at like the IP addresses and all those things have been captured. Now, during the account opening process, we had a process called ID check, online ID check. So some of the users, we found that the ID check is getting failed. So why it was failed? So if we just consider, if we consider that we want to solve that problem using machine learning, then extreme right side, this is a data scientist who needs to at first observe the data. So what kind of data it is, and uh, do some plot some graphs and just try to understand the meaningful information out of that data. So that's he needs to do first. Next, the most important phase is that the data extraction feature extraction phase. So this is the most important phase of running any machine learning algorithm. So here, the statistics says that data scientists spend 60 to 80% of their time to just make the data ready, so that the algorithm can be run on top of that and we get a fruitful result. For example, here, this raw data won't be very useful to run our classification logic. So we have to just extract the geolocation, and again geolocation was a coordinate from IP address. We have converted it to the number. Next, from the browser user agent, we have extracted that whether it is a latest browser or not, and somehow in a process we have labeled those data, whether those particular row or particular request was ID verified or not. So this feature extraction is a major step. So we have to, and only the experienced data scientist and who have actual experience can do it. And ultimately, we have to run the classification algorithm, but we know that it is a classification algorithm because ultimately we are trying to identify that whether the application was a fraudulent application or not. So again, list of algorithm there is, those are actually those algorithm name I have taken from the Microsoft provided framework, but the similar algorithm available in every language. So light GBA multi and fast tree over, so that kind of algorithms are there, but which algorithm we are going to use? So now just have a look at it, like data scientist or experienced machine learning practitioner, just they are doing a steps, they are following a steps, they are getting a input data, they are doing feature extraction, and then running the application. So over the period of time, actually they are learning how we can just from the input data till getting the end result, what are the steps should be followed. Why not that particular knowledge we can just train the machine with those knowledge, so that, or those experiences, those findings, so that machine can take the decision of having a input data, do some feature extraction, and ultimately perform different kind of experiments, and finally eventually give the result, which algorithm would be the best suitable algorithm for our problem. So regarding that, so ultimately, yes, whatever I have just explained. So whole process of using machine learning has been used and trained the AutoML intelligent worker. So Microsoft has a library who has been doing it for long. So there are libraries available in Python as well. So then we can use the AutoML to do all those operations. What are the steps available here? So let me explain. First of all, the steps are now pretty straightforward and mechanical. So we have to load the data first. Just load the data with whatever the data first, the raw data we have provided. So load the data first. Next, select the machine learning task type. This is important, and that anyone can identify, because here in our fraud checking problem, we are trying to identify whether it is a fraud case or not. So it is a classification problem, and since the output is a binary output, either fraud or not, it's a binary classification. So we will create a settings called binary experiment settings just to create it. Next, pretty important, create experiment settings, configure experiment settings, specify different optimizing metrics, and customize the trainer. So what we are going to do here, pretty important, that whenever the AutoML, auto machine learning tool will try to do the experiment, it will do based on the mean square error matrix. Like everyone knows about it, it's pretty a pretty common term in machine learning, that we just want to find out the difference between the expected result and actual result, forecasted predicted result and actual result, and making a difference and doing a mean square of it and trying to identify what was the error. So that particular matrix will be used to do the experiment. Okay, the experiment is pretty long experiment, so we need to time bound it. So max experiment time in seconds, I have set it up like 3600 seconds. And we know, if you know about it, that's fine. Otherwise, I know that this LBFGS algorithm, this two last algorithm, won't be applicable in this scenario, so we have removed it out. So AutoML won't use those algorithm while it is trying to find out the best optimal things algorithm. Next, data pre-processing and featureization. As I have discussed, like 60 to 80% time has been spent for doing this featureization and the data extraction and all those stuffs. We no need to do it. But I won't say that in all the scenario the AutoML will be able to do it. Not like that. But most of the scenario, AutoML will be able to do the featureization and pre-processing. So it will drop the feature with no useful information, like that. Whatever we do generally, it will just replace the missing value and all those stuffs. And ultimately, so we no need to do anything here. We can skip this step. Exit criteria, this is important. So we have to again provide max experiment time in seconds. So what is the time duration? The AutoML will try to learn, try to do the experiment, and after that it stop doing it. Finally, we will do a create experiment and ultimately run the experiment. So actually, I thought of that I would show the demo, but since it is a lightning talk, I have not planned to do that. I have just copied over the result from my machine. Just have a look. I use the data. Actually, I have just specified the data is the data actually user applied for the online banking account opening. And after running the algorithm, we have found out that all those algorithms have been tried by the AutoML, and ultimately those who are the ranked by accuracy, those are the top models, and the accuracy is around 94.71%. So ultimately, we have used this algorithm only, Light GPA multi. So it is identified. Now quickly we can just divide our data to the test data and train data, and do the or just run the algorithm with the train data, and we can test it with the test data. That's fine. Then it would be easier for us to just select a proper algorithm and do the just implement the machine learning logic and implement intelligent worker for us. That's it actually, my talk. And yeah, here actually I have covered very high level and the steps, but if you go to this links, there all those things are properly step by step way everything explained. And this is pretty important, the GitHub link, where those are all .NET sample, and I have used it, I have just experimented it using .NET. But anyway, any other language are also available. So lots of valuable example has been given here. So just look at it and you will be fine. So it is really easy and really useful, because we have used in our last project and we got a pretty good result. That's it. Thank you very much.